Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Shelly Gibson. The world of television and theater is mourning the loss of Shelly Gibson, the beloved actress who passed away at the age of 71. Known for her unforgettable presence on both the small screen and stage, Shelly carved out a legacy defined by emotional depth, unwavering dedication, and a charisma that lit up every scene she touched. Her passing leaves behind a silence in the hearts of many who cherished her talent, her humanity, and her enduring grace. Born in New York City, Shelly grew up with a fascination for the performing arts. As a child, she was drawn to classic films and Broadway plays, often mimicking performances in front of her mirror. Encouraged by her mother, a former ballet dancer, Shelly enrolled in acting classes early in life. Her passion soon transformed into purpose, and after graduating from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, she stepped into the acting world with the kind of fire only true dreamers possess. Her breakout role came in the early 1980s with the popular TV series Saint Elsewhere, where she played a resilient nurse navigating the complex emotional terrain of a busy hospital. Audiences were immediately drawn to her sincerity and realism, and critics praised her for bringing layered humanity to her character. It wasn't long before Shelly became a familiar face on American television, landing recurring roles in All My Children, Dust to Malibu, and The Guiding Light. But her reach wasn't limited to just the screen. Shelly was a true theater lover at heart. Her performances in off-Broadway productions earned her acclaim, especially for her role as Blanche DuBois in A Streetcar Named Desire, which many consider her finest performance. Her ability to balance vulnerability and strength left audiences breathless night after night. Off-camera, Shelly was known for her quiet generosity. She worked closely with several acting schools and community theater programs, mentoring young actors who were just beginning their journeys. She often told them, "The truest performance is the one that makes you forget you're performing." Her students remember her not just as a mentor, but as someone who listened, supported, and never gave up on anyone. Shelly faced health challenges in her later years with the same grace she brought to her characters. She continued to perform in smaller productions and participate in panels and interviews about the evolution of television acting, always advocating for deeper storytelling and more honest female roles in media. Her passing marks the end of an era. Yet her legacy lives on in the countless lives she touched, through her work, her words, and her warmth. The characters she brought to life will continue to inspire, and her passion for the craft will echo in the dreams of every young actor who dares to believe. Kaitlyn Dever. The entertainment world was struck with deep sorrow as news broke that Kaitlyn Dever, the immensely talented actress known for her versatility and raw emotional power, passed away at the young age of 28. Her death has left a profound void not only in the film and television industry but in the hearts of millions who followed her career and admired the incredible maturity and passion she brought to every role she played. Born in Phoenix, Arizona, Kaitlyn Dever's love for performing began at an early age. Even as a child, she showed a striking ability to convey emotion through her voice and eyes, something that would become her trademark in years to come. Her family recognized her talent and moved to Dallas, Texas, where she pursued acting classes and landed commercial work. But it wasn't long before Hollywood came calling. Her breakout moment came when she starred as Loretta McCready in the critically acclaimed series Justified. Kaitlyn's portrayal of a tough yet vulnerable teenager caught in the harsh realities of life earned her immediate praise. She brought a level of realism to the screen that audiences couldn't turn away from. Every gesture, every line, felt lived in and true, and it became clear that a rare star was emerging. From there, her rise was meteoric. In the Netflix hit Unbelievable, Kaitlyn delivered a heart-wrenching performance as a young woman dealing with trauma and injustice. The role earned her Golden Globe and Critics' Choice Award nominations and solidified her reputation as one of the most emotionally resonant actors of her generation. Whether in dramatic roles like Short Term 12 or comedic turns in Booksmart, Kaitlyn displayed a range that defied her age and left audiences awestruck. Beyond her acting talent, Kaitlyn was known for her humility, her deep empathy, and her fierce advocacy for mental health awareness and women's rights. She used her platform to raise her voice for causes close to her heart, always staying grounded despite her growing fame. Friends and co-stars often described her as someone with an old soul and a presence that made everyone feel seen and understood. Kaitlyn's passing is not just a loss of a rising star, it is the loss of a once-in-a-generation talent who was only beginning to show the world the depth of what she could do. She leaves behind a body of work that speaks to courage, compassion, and truth. And though her time here was far too short, her light, her voice, and her spirit will continue to shine through the stories she told. Kiker. Doug Kiker, the humble garbage man whose powerful voice and genuine spirit won the hearts of millions on American Idol, has tragically passed away at the young age of 28. His journey from a life of quiet struggle to the bright lights of national television was nothing short of inspiring, and his sudden passing has left fans, friends, and family heartbroken. Doug became a household name in 2020 when he appeared on American Idol with little experience but an ocean of heart. When he stepped onto the audition stage in his work uniform, he instantly struck a chord with viewers. He wasn't a polished performer, he was a father trying to build a better life for his daughter. That raw authenticity, combined with his soulful voice, made him unforgettable. When he sang "Bless the Broken Road" by Rascal Flatts, the judges were visibly moved. Luke Bryan helped him warm up and guided him through the moment, and what followed was one of the most emotional auditions in the show's history. Doug didn't just sing the lyrics, he lived them. His performance didn't just earn him a golden ticket to Hollywood, it earned him the love and respect of the nation. But Doug's life wasn't just about his time on stage. He was a devoted father, working hard every day to provide for his daughter. That deep love and dedication to family were at the center of everything he did. Even after his appearance on Idol, Doug remained humble, grounded, and grateful for every opportunity that came his way. In interviews, he often expressed how surreal the experience was, how he never imagined himself in the spotlight. He talked about how the show helped him believe in himself, and how it gave him the confidence to dream bigger, for himself and for his little girl. He didn't chase fame. He chased purpose. And in doing so, he inspired others to believe that no matter where you come from, your story matters. Doug's voice may have carried him into America's living rooms, but it was his spirit, gentle, sincere, and full of hope, that left a lasting impression. He reminded us all that greatness can come from the most unexpected places and that courage isn't about perfection, it's about showing up, just as you are. His sudden passing is a devastating loss, and the outpouring of love from fans around the world is a testament to the impact he made in such a short time. Doug Kiker's story was one of hope, heart, and perseverance. He may be gone, but his voice, and the hope he gave to so many, will never be forgotten. Larry Bastian. Larry Bastian, the legendary country music songwriter whose words gave life to some of Garth Brooks' most iconic hits, passed away at the age of 85. A master of storytelling and a poet of the American spirit, Larry wasn't just a songwriter, he was a soul whisperer. His lyrics captured the emotions of everyday people and painted vivid portraits of love, loss, pride, and perseverance. With his passing, the world of country music has lost one of its most heartfelt voices. Born and raised in Wisconsin, Larry didn't follow the typical path to Nashville fame. He worked as a school teacher, a rodeo announcer, and even raised cattle before ever penning a hit song. But all the while, he observed people. He listened. And somewhere along the way, he began writing songs that would speak to the heart of America. Larry Bastian's big break came when he connected with a young and upcoming Garth Brooks. The two men shared a deep respect for traditional country storytelling, and their creative chemistry became a force that helped define a generation of country music. Bastian's songwriting credits include classics like Rodeo, Unanswered Prayers, and Papa Loved Mama. Each one is packed with rich emotion, vivid imagery, and a timeless sense of honesty. Rodeo, in particular, became an anthem for the untamed heart, raw, wild, and unwavering. It spoke not just to cowboys, but to anyone chasing a dream, anyone who ever had to sacrifice love for passion. That was Larry's gift. He wrote songs that weren't just for the radio, they were for the soul. But Larry Bastian wasn't just successful, he was deeply respected. Known for his humility, kindness, and generosity, he mentored young songwriters and always had time to offer encouragement or lend an ear. He didn't chase the spotlight. Instead, he poured himself into the craft, believing that good songs come from truth, not fame. Away from the studio, Larry was a devoted family man. He often spoke about the inspiration he found in his own life experiences, his marriage, his children, and the quiet moments on the ranch. He lived simply, but his words resonated with millions. Larry Bastian's legacy is written in the songs that still play on country radio, in the lyrics that comfort and uplift, and in the hearts of those who find themselves reflected in his stories. His words will live on long after the final note fades, a testament to a man who understood that sometimes the truest poetry is found in the everyday. Joe Harris. Joe Harris, the brilliant animator, illustrator, and creative mind behind some of the most beloved cartoon characters of the 20th century, passed away at the age of 91. Best known as the co-creator of the iconic Underdog, Joe Harris was more than just an artist, he was a storyteller who shaped childhoods and inspired generations through whimsical worlds and heroic tales. Born in Jersey City, New Jersey, in 1928, Harris showed an early talent for drawing and storytelling. After serving in the military, he pursued a career in art and advertising, eventually landing a job at the famed advertising agency Dancer Fitzgerald Sample. It was there that he would begin laying the groundwork for some of his most memorable creations. But it wasn't until he joined Total Television, an animation studio formed in the early 1960s, that his creative genius truly took flight. Joe Harris co-created Underdog, the humble, rhyming superhero in a cape and floppy ears who always came to the rescue with the catchphrase, "There's no need to fear, Underdog is here." The character wasn't just an animated dog, he was a symbol of kindness, determination, and justice. With Underdog, Harris gave children a hero they could root for, one who didn't need to be perfect to do great things. In addition to Underdog, Harris helped develop a number of other beloved cartoon characters, including King Leonardo, Tennessee Tuxedo, and the Go-Go Gophers. His creations brought color and humor into millions of living rooms during the golden age of Saturday morning cartoons. But behind the laughs and slapstick, there was always a deeper message about standing up for what's right, believing in yourself, and never giving up, hallmarks of Harris's storytelling style. Beyond animation, Joe Harris was a gifted illustrator in the advertising world. One of his most famous creations outside of television was the Trix cereal rabbit for General Mills. That energetic, unlucky rabbit who was always trying to get his hands on Trix. That was Harris's work, another piece of American pop culture born from his pencil and imagination. Despite his success, Harris remained grounded and humble. He often said that his biggest reward was knowing he brought smiles to people's faces. In interviews, he credited teamwork and collaboration, insisting that great stories come from shared passion and purpose. In his later years, Joe enjoyed mentoring young artists and remained connected to the animation community. He was a walking library of artistic wisdom, always generous with advice and encouragement. He believed in the power of imagination, and that creativity could change the world, one drawing at a time. Joe Harris leaves behind a legacy that stretches far beyond animation cells and television screens. His characters still live in the hearts of those who grew up watching them, and his vision continues to influence modern animators and storytellers. He may be gone, but the spirit of Underdog, and all he stood for, remains, soaring through the skies of memory and imagination. Von Drake. Von Drake, the unsung hero behind some of the most enduring melodies in American music, passed away at the age of 89. A gifted songwriter, lyricist, and musician, Von's name might not have always been in the spotlight, but his work quietly echoed through decades, touching hearts and leaving a lasting imprint on the soul of the music industry. Born in the small town of Kansas City, Missouri, Von grew up surrounded by jazz, gospel, and blues. From an early age, he showed an innate talent for the piano and a deep sensitivity to words. It wasn't long before music became not just a passion, but a calling. He pursued formal education in music theory and composition, but it was in the smoky clubs and behind-the-scenes recording studios that he truly found his rhythm. Drake rose to prominence in the 1960s, writing and co-writing lyrics for many country, gospel, and pop artists who would go on to top the charts. His greatest strength was his ability to capture real emotion in simple, poignant lines, words that felt like they were pulled straight from someone's heart. He often said that the best songs didn't need fancy metaphors or complex poetry. They just needed truth. One of Vaughn's most recognized contributions was his lyrical work for traditional gospel choirs, where he helped pen dozens of hymns that are still performed in churches to this day. His lyrics were rooted in faith, struggle, and redemption, giving voice to people seeking hope in hard times. Through his words, choirs found songs that lifted spirits and brought people closer together. In the 1970s and 80s, Vaughn collaborated with several Nashville legends. While many artists took center stage, Vaughn remained behind the curtain, preferring to let his songs speak for themselves. He believed in the power of music as a healer, a connector, and a storyteller. Though his fame never reached the heights of the performers he worked with, Vaughn Drake was revered among his peers. Fellow songwriters described him as a quiet genius, a man who wrote not for applause but because he had something to say. His notebooks were filled with unfinished verses and melodies, a testament to a restless, passionate mind that never stopped creating. Outside of music, Vaughn was a devoted husband and father. He often said that his family was the inspiration behind many of his most intimate songs. His home was always filled with music, laughter, and the sound of a piano softly playing in the background. In his later years, he taught songwriting workshops and mentored young artists, reminding them that every great song starts with a little bit of honesty and a lot of heart. Vaughn Drake may have lived a life away from the spotlight, but his impact is undeniable. His songs, whether sung in church pews or softly strummed in smoky bars, carried the stories of everyday people. In that way, Vaughn gave a voice to millions. And though he has passed on, his music, his words, and his spirit will live on, humming quietly through the chords of time. Pope Francis. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, passed away at the age of 88, leaving behind an indelible mark on the Catholic Church and the world. As the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Francis was known for his humility, compassion, and unwavering commitment to social justice, becoming one of the most beloved figures in modern history. His papacy was defined by a desire to make the Church more inclusive, focusing on the poor, marginalized, and those in need of a voice. Born on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Jorge Mario Bergoglio was raised in a working-class family. His early life was shaped by the values of compassion and service, which would later guide his leadership of the Catholic Church. After entering the seminary, he quickly rose through the ranks of the Church, becoming a priest, then a bishop, and eventually the Archbishop of Buenos Aires. Throughout his career, Bergoglio was known for his deep spirituality, his intellectual prowess, and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. In 2013, following the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI, Cardinal Bergoglio was elected as the first pope from the Americas, taking the name Pope Francis. His selection was groundbreaking, symbolizing a new direction for the Catholic Church. As the first pope from Latin America, he brought a fresh perspective to the papacy, emphasizing the need for greater outreach to the global south, where the Church was experiencing rapid growth. Pope Francis was a pope of firsts. He was the first pope to take the name Francis, inspired by Saint Francis of Assisi, a saint known for his devotion to the poor and his love for nature. This choice reflected Pope Francis' deep commitment to the issues of poverty, environmental justice, and peace. He was a staunch advocate for social change, speaking out against income inequality, climate change, and the excesses of capitalism. His encyclical, Laudato Si', called for urgent action to combat environmental degradation and protect the planet for future generations. One of Pope Francis' most notable traits was his humility. He chose to live simply, in contrast to the traditional papal lifestyle. He declined the lavish papal apartment, opting instead for a modest residence, and he often made spontaneous visits to the sick, the homeless, and those in need. His humility and willingness to embrace the struggles of the poor earned him the respect and admiration of people around the world. Beyond his focus on social justice, Pope Francis also worked to modernize the Church. He sought to make the Church more inclusive and welcoming, particularly for women, LGBTQ+ individuals, and those who felt alienated by traditional teachings. His leadership style was characterized by openness and dialogue, and he encouraged the Church to reach out to those on the margins of society. Pope Francis' legacy will be remembered for his tireless efforts to bring the teachings of Christ to life in a modern world, his advocacy for the poor and the oppressed, and his ability to inspire millions of people with his message of love, mercy, and compassion. His passing marks the end of a transformative era for the Catholic Church and the world. Pope Francis leaves behind a church that is more focused on serving others, a planet that is more aware of the need for environmental stewardship, and a global community that has been touched by his unwavering commitment to peace and justice. His influence will continue to shape the Church for generations to come. Cristina Barque. Cristina Barque, a talented Brazilian singer and songwriter, passed away at the age of 74, leaving behind a remarkable legacy in the world of music. Known for her distinctive voice and unique style, Cristina's contribution to Brazilian popular music is celebrated by those who cherish the rich cultural tapestry she helped create. Her career spans several decades, during which she captivated audiences with her heartfelt songs and performances. She is remembered not only for her vocal prowess but also for her dedication to preserving and evolving Brazilian music. Born in Rio de Janeiro, Cristina was introduced to music at an early age. Growing up in a family where music was a constant presence, she quickly developed a love for the art form. From a young age, Cristina was drawn to the sounds of Brazilian folk and popular music, and by her teenage years, she was already writing and composing her own songs. Her early exposure to music legends like Elis Regina and Gal Costa shaped her sound, which would later become synonymous with a blend of traditional and contemporary Brazilian music. Cristina's musical career began in the 1960s, a period of significant social and political change in Brazil. She emerged as one of the leading voices in the MPB, Música Popular Brasileira, movement, a genre that combined Brazilian rhythms with elements of jazz, bossa nova, and international pop music. Her debut album, released in the early 1970s, showcased her deep understanding of the cultural and political landscape of the time. With a voice that could convey both strength and vulnerability, Cristina's music resonated deeply with listeners, particularly those seeking an outlet for the political and social turmoil of the era. Throughout her career, Cristina recorded numerous albums that captured the diverse spirit of Brazilian music. She collaborated with various legendary musicians, further solidifying her place in the Brazilian music scene. Whether performing intimate ballads or energetic samba-infused tracks, Cristina's ability to tell stories through songs set her apart from many of her contemporaries. Her lyrics, often poetic and reflective, spoke of love, life, and the complexities of the human experience. In addition to her musical achievements, Cristina was an active figure in promoting Brazilian music worldwide. She toured extensively, performing on stages across Latin America, Europe, and the United States, introducing international audiences to the sounds of Brazil. Her work helped bring Brazilian music to a global stage, earning her recognition beyond her home country. Cristina also made a significant impact as a mentor and teacher, passing on her knowledge to younger generations of musicians. Her willingness to share her experiences and the wisdom she gained over the years made her a beloved figure within the Brazilian music community. Away from the public eye, Cristina was known for her humility and devotion to her family. Despite the fame she achieved, she remained grounded and focused on the things that mattered most to her, her art, her family, and her love for Brazil's rich cultural heritage. Her passing marks the end of an era for Brazilian music, but her songs will continue to inspire future generations. Cristina Barque's work will live on, forever etched in the hearts of those who were fortunate enough to hear her music. She leaves behind a legacy that is a testament to the power of music to transcend borders, cultures, and time itself.